After parting with Shima, I dropped by the infirmary to report the conclusion I arrived at. And what you said yesterday.
Ah?
I think I kind of understand now.
何のことだ?
You know, after I consulted with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other women. I mean, if you don't count Tina as a woman, then I guess 4. You told me to give love a shot.
ああ、そのことか。
I actually didn't want to become able to make smiles purposefully. I've been wanting them to come naturally. If I can, I want to naturally smile at the person I love. And if I consider that this will in turn make the people around me happy as well, it makes love really meaningful. So, what you were trying to say is that I might be able to smile at the one I love, right?
偉そうで生意気だな。
Well, I guess I can't deny that. In truth, it's nothing more than the personal answer I came up with, so there's no guarantee or proof that it will turn out like that. But I think it'd be great if it was like that. I want to perceive what she taught me in an optimistic way. It almost as if she has guessed my sentiments.
ああ、そうだ。ユーマ、お前に一つアドバイスしてやる。
She says that while looking a bit embarrassed. Advice? What is it?
チョコは3倍返しが基本だからな。
Chocolate. Valentine's Day is long over, you know.
例え話だよ。それくらいわかれ。
Allegory, meaning if someone gives me a smile, I should return it threefold?
そういうことだ。
That again seems to be something that's still far out of my reach.
やる前から諦めるんじゃない。
Well, I'll give it my best. As I answer that, she returns a satisfied expression.
ところで、こんな話をしに来たということは、彼女にしたい女を見つけられたのか?
No, that's what I'll do starting now. Maybe you shouldn't. How would I say? Maybe don't force it. Right?
あ、これから?
Yeah, I've been worrying about how I should go about it. Yeah, like it's not that deep, Yuma. I thought you learned from Aoi. Hey, why are you laughing?
いや、すまん。恋がしたくて相手を探すやつなんて初めて見てな。
Aoi said the very same thing.
だろうな。
You're laughing a little too much there. Aoi already made me painfully realize that it's a weird way of going about it.
笑った。
Ow.
で、本当にいないのか?
So if you know it's a weird way of going about it, why didn't you change your answer for now? For now? No, there isn't.
そうか。しかしあいつらもかわいそうにな。
What do you mean?
もっと周りに目を向けてみろってことだ。このアホ。
Around me? Why? What you just said somewhat sounded like the words of a mother who worries about her son.
これ以上は教えてやらん。あとは自分で考えろ。
Yeah, so stop being a dense stop being a dense motherfucker. I can't say vision level protagonist apparently. I don't get it at all.
悩め悩め。それが青春ってやつだ。
Be more attentive to what's going on around me. Huh.
ああ、そうそう。ここでの仕事だが、もう来なくていいぞ。
Really? Is that because of the student council? Huh? What's that? In response to her out of the blue declaration, a goofy response escapes me.
せっかくやる気になったんだ。ここで無意な時間を過ごすよりも、女の尻を追いかけている方が有意義だって言ってるんだよ。
Girls' asses? Seriously?
とにかく伝えたからな。もう戻ってくるんじゃないぞ。
Is this a prison or something?
似たようなもんだろう。クール気取った牧年人の更生施設だ。
I got it already. But don't pile up so much work. Don't pile up so much work as. Don't pile up so much work as to worry this unsociable, dense guy who is always acting all unruffled.
それは約束できん。
The first part was weird. Man, if you're really in a fix, come to my classroom and call me then.
他にもあるだろう。ユーマのいるべき場所は。
A place where I belong.
悩むがいいさ。アホな若者。
Am I really a fool, or is it simply that her questions are way too difficult? A bit of both. That now is being vague for a reason, and that reason comes down to the fact that you're dense as shit. In the end, I leave the infirmary without arriving at an answer to that question. By the time I leave the school, it has already become pitch black outside. But instead of thinking about the fact that I'll be rather late home today, I ponder about what Now told me at the infirmary. Attentive to what's going on around me. Huh. While thinking about the meaning of these words, I walk down the street in silence. And after a while, I've arrived at this place.
ユーマさん。
Tina, you came to pick me up today again.
はい、おかえりなさいです。今日はいつもより遅かったですね。
Sorry, I had some stuff to think about.
またお悩み事ですか？ユーマさんは大変です。
Say, Tina.
何ですか？
I want to pick up where we left off yesterday. Will you hear me out? Why is it that I'm consulting Tina about it? Or rather, what is it that I'm still mulling over at this point in the first place?
話を聞くだけならいくらでも。
So you have no intention of giving me some words of advice or something about hearing me out?
内容によります。
That's a bit of a mean way to put it. Does my way of life look that awkward to you?
意味がよくわかりません。
How should I put it? Even though I actually should be feeling happy, I don't find myself satisfied.
やっぱりよくわかりません。
Basically, it seems I need to become even happier.
今のままではダメなのですか？
It should have been, but I realize that it isn't.
どうしてダメなのですか？
This repeated exchange of question and answer now makes me want to tell her about that soul reaper I haven't spoken about with anyone until this moment. A long time ago, I once died. Upon that, I received a new life from a soul reaper whose name I don't even know. What that basically means is this life that I have right now isn't just my own. That soul reaper also didn't tell me whose it is. It's mine, the player. To be precise, I lost consciousness before I got the chance to ask. For that reason, I decided to live my life for everyone's sake, with all I've got, so that I don't put this life and the one who granted it to me to shame.
立派だと思います。でも、
But
みんなのためだと、ユーマさんは？
me? I've been fine until now. That's because everyone's happiness is also my own happiness. And there shouldn't have existed any inconsistencies in that. Up until now, that is. But you know, It seems I wasn't the only one who has been thinking this way. Because of that, it seems that I have to become happy. I have to become happy as well to truly make everyone else happy. Right, this is what I need to do. I have to make myself and the life I've been entrusted with properly taste true happiness. What do you mean taste?
私も
Experience.
ユーマさんのその命には幸せになってほしいです。
Almost cut her off. Experience would have been a better word than fucking taste. That life. As I already thought, I guess she really might know something about that Soul Reaper girl. Yeah. You might say she might know her a bit too well. But right now there's something more important to talk about. So after talking to various people, it seems that it'll all work out somehow if I just smiled.
ユーマさんが
Yeah, because I can't smile. Maybe all the happiness is bottled up inside since it doesn't have the natural outlet it needs. If I think about it this way, I become a bit scared.
やっぱりよくわからないです。
Sorry.
でも
Tina peers into my face anxiously.
今のユーマさんが幸せじゃないのはわかりました。
I wasn't aware of it, but that's how it is, I guess. I'm not unhappy, but I'm not fully satisfied either. Until it was pointed out to me, it never even crossed my mind though.
が幸せじゃない。
She murmured something in a voice so low, I'm not able to make out more than half of it.
それは嫌です。とても
I'm perplexed by the sorrowful gaze she directs at me.
どうすれば幸せになれますか？笑顔になれますか？
Well, in a way, this is pretty comical. That's because Tina has been pointing out the answer to that question from the very beginning. I think I only have to fall in love, don't you think? Didn't you yourself tell me that? That I'd smile if I fell in love? Right. That's what she told me when I first met her. Did you already forget that, love fairy?
違います。決して忘れていたわけでは。
I guess it might be a good idea to fall in love. Staring at me in wonder, Tina freezes up. After all, there are also others who've recommended that to me. Surprisingly, it might not be so bad for me. Then, slowly, Tina's face begins to form a proper expression again.
ユーマさん、聞きましたよ。本当ですね。
Yeah, I did. You'll finally be able to fulfill your purpose, I guess.
とうとう、この時が。
Is that really something to cry over?
だって、これで恋の妖精ができます。
See, I told you. Just when I think her eyes are wet, the next moment she's already happily smiling at you again. She changes her expression so fast, you never get tired from looking at her.
嬉しいです。小太郎もそう言っています。いえ、私にとっては正直どうでもいいことでございまして。
I mean, I'm not surprised by that. He just looks like he wants to sleep.
この通り、小太郎もとっても喜んでます。
What noises are what noises were are yeah what noises are is what never mind. Don't wring his neck so much. That really makes me feel sorry for him, and all the more because of the fact that he looks like a plushie.
それで恋のお相手は誰とするのですか？
She casually flings Katara away, unlucky, and draws closer to me. Right now, there's no one. Someday, maybe I'll find someone.
何を言っているんですか、ユーマさん。気が変わらないうちに今からしましょう。
There's no need to rush it. It's not something I can force. I have to naturally fall in love with a girl. I self-importantly announced what I've been told by Aoi and that bad-mannered nurse.
でしたら、早く誰かを好きになってください。
It's not that easy, you know.
口だけの男ですか？早く何かしてください。
She might actually have a point. If I just wait and do nothing, it probably won't change anything. Which means I should get myself more involved with other people to the point that I can eventually fall in love with someone. But it takes courage to take that first step forward.
ですね、ユーマさん。
Suddenly she looks at me with a gentle gaze and smiles.
応援しますから。
Ah, I think I finally understand what I've still been endlessly mulling over. Say, Tina, if I actually find a girl I love at that time.
はい。私がユーマさんの恋を叶えます。応援します。
In order to take that first step forward.
恋の妖精の名にかけて。
Most likely, I just wanted someone to give me a light push in the back. The next day, I was in the middle of heading to a specific place. I think I probably understood it from the beginning. If I started from here, things would start moving. But in order to do that, I would have to fix quite a lot of bad traits I still have. And because I didn't want to confront that immature side of me, I kept refusing her invitations. Taking a deep breath, I steel my resolve, believing that a bright future awaits me beyond this door. Excuse me. And so I take the first step forward.
というわけでみんな、風紀委員と合体したので、新しい規則を作りました。
So does that mean he's actually gonna be joining the student council? I mean, it makes sense at this point since all of the girls that he is potentially dating are part of the have joined the student council, right? So it makes sense. It's completely different to it's completely different of it's two. Yeah, completely different to what I was thinking the routes were going to be, which was, you know, Yuma joins the PMC for Yuri, the student council for Anne, neither for Mio and Konami. I don't know, fucking the Shogi Club for Konami. But, you know, I thought about the Shogi Club thing before they joined the student council. Never mind.
じゃーん、恋愛禁止。
Okay, Kaguya-sama. Okay. But it seems this first step that I took with all my courage might have been a step in a completely wrong direction.
兄さん？あれ？ゆうくん、おはよう。
Right. Morning.
浅場くん、どうしたの？
宿題を移したいなら残念だったな。俺はやってないぞ。
声たくん、それどういうことですか？
やだな、月島さん。そんな睨まないでほしいんだけど。
私はやってきたよ。さすがですね、ミオさん。なでなで。で、ゆうまくんは誰かに用事？
Well, I did have business with you, but with what is shown on the whiteboard, I don't think I should be here. I throw a quick glance at the Lovers Band notice. It's not like my ultimate goal is to date someone. But still, It's true that I've begun to think that it might be a good idea. So now, confronted with the fact that this hope turned out to be the first step on the road to disappointment, I find myself at a loss as to how to react. Ahem. Let's see. Alright, for now I should leave and come back again later after thinking this through one more time. It's nothing important. I'll come back later.
そうなの？でもせっかく来たんだし、ゆっくりしていったら？
Well, but it seems everyone is rather busy, so...
ゆうりちゃん、今って忙しいの？今ので話が終わりみたいだし、あとは教室に戻るだけだけど。ね、だから用事がある人は連れてっちゃってもいいよ。それとも生徒会に入るつもりになった？
Well, I did. Until that sign showed up.
本当？ゆうくんも入るの？兄さんも一緒なら心強いですよね。ええ、浅場くんもいてくれたら風紀委員の仕事お願いできるし。
Despite that I haven't said anything yet, the conversation steadily progresses, as if I had already agreed to join. So, who couldn't watch much longer, it cuts into the conversation.
おいおい待ってくれよみんな。ユーマは保健室の手伝いがあるから無理だろ。
そっか。沢田先生も浅場くんの手伝いで助かってるだろうし。そうなんだよね。ユーマくんを攻略するにはそこを崩さないと。
What should I do? Should I tell them about it? Even if I remain silent about it now, they'd eventually hear about it from her anyway. It's not like there'd be a problem even if I just told them. About that, she dismissed me. All of them look at me with a surprised expression. Yeah, I know, right? The fucking laziest nurse in Japan laid me off.
Eh?
And all because I told her I want to fall in love with someone. Like, how could she do that?
首？
Yeah, she said she didn't need my help anymore and told me to never come back.
浅場くん、沢田先生に何を？
おっぱいか。先生のおっぱいもみもみしたのか？
I wish. I mean, as if. It's just that there were some reasons that led to it. She may always be teasing me for fun, but just like Aoi, she was always concerned about me one way or another. And that's precisely why she drove me out of the infirmary. She did what she thought was best for me.
ねえ、ゆうまくん。前に言ってたよね。保健室の手伝いがあるから生徒会は手伝えないって。
Right. That's certainly what I said. Yeah, but like, you know, that reason's kind of been replaced by another reason why I don't want to join the student council. Definitely not looking at anything that's behind Anne.
じゃあさ、今はフリーってこと？
That's how it is, yeah. I know what she's getting at. And I also know what I should do now. I guess I have no choice but to resolve myself, huh? Reconsidering won't get me anywhere. I came here because I've decided that I wanted to change.
あのね、ゆうまくん。しつこいと思うけど、聞いてくれる？生徒会に。
Wait a moment, senpai. To begin with, only people who want to work for the sake of the school's students should join the student council. That opinion still hasn't changed. That's why I considered it to be wrong to join for a selfish reason, like becoming able to smile. Instead, I should work with the mindset and goal of bringing smiles to all the school students. And if I become able to smile myself as a result of it, I think there couldn't possibly be any greater happiness. And that's the kind of future I dream of. Please let me join the student council. For the sake of that future, I took my first step forward from here. Why? Why? What do you mean? No. I feel like this is one of those moments where it would be better for me to just skip this, because like, you know, if it was a different song, maybe I would be more inclined to keep it. But like, you know, the fact that it's the same song and we've already seen the opening, so like, you know, sure, it's been a while, but like, we've already seen the opening, so why do we have to show it again? We aren't even in a route. Like, sure, whatever. And so I officially become a member of the student council.
いやー、しかしまさかな。会長はユーマまでも首を縦に振らせたか。
Just how many times are you going to bring that up? Put it to rest already.
それだけ驚きだったんだって。
While throwing in appropriate replies to a topic I'm already tired of hearing by now, we walk in the hallway on our way to a different classroom.
それで、今日は会長と一緒に昼飯を食うことになったんだっけ？
Yeah, apparently, she's going to explain to me the student council's work.
ユーマには優しいよな、会長。俺の時にはそんなこと全くなかったぞ。
Isn't it just that she's been extra careful so that I don't quit now that the student council finally has an agreeable amount of members?
どうだかな。ま、何にしろ、お前は会長のお気に入りだと思うぞ。
It took a liking to me, you say. From my perspective, that would better apply to Konami and Mio.
それで、生徒会に入った理由だけど、
I don't think you
本当
want
の
to
ところ
know
は
the
何なん
reason.
だ？
I didn't mean cut you off because I thought you finished your sentence, but I don't think you want to know. What do you want to hear? Isn't it good enough? Isn't it a good enough reason that I was eventually swayed because she kept inviting me over and over again?
お前がそんな玉じゃないのは知ってるからな。何か理由があるんだろう。
Let me keep that to myself. It'd obviously be quite embarrassing to tell So about it. While we converse, Hanako approaches us from the front side.
あ、ちょっと浅場ユーマ。
おお、さすがに人気者だな、賞金首。
Former, that is. Did he have to bring that up again now that I've finally started to forget about it? What's the matter, Hanako?
花子って言うんじゃないわよ。
Well, I can already guess what she wants.
浅場ユーマ、あんた生徒会に入ったって本当なの？
Yeah, I did. Something wrong with that?
どうしてもこうしてもないわよ。なんで私に黙ってるのよ。
Why, you ask? Do I have an obligation to tell you?
あるに決まってるでしょ。記事にするんだから。
Yeah, but what type of article? So in short, what she's basically saying is she expects me to immediately leak juicy information to her. And as if that wasn't enough, she's saying that right to the face of the person who would become the subject of that article.
結局あんたの変顔記事も受けが良かったし、普通のを出せばキャーキャーうるさいし、不愉快だからせめて私のために役立ちなさいよ。
さすがだな、色男。
I'm not happy about that at all. And you should first of all retort something in response to this girl's absurd logic.
ああ、そうは言ってもな。新聞部は生徒会広報も兼ねてるから、むちゃくちゃでもないぞ。
Huh? Student council PR? Student council PR, was it? The newspaper club?
何よあんた、もしかして知らなかったの？
ほら、そういう関係もあるから、会長とも仲いいんだよ、月島姉さんは。
Big sis Tsukishima. She is indeed Tsukishima's older sister, but that way of calling her feels off all of a sudden.
あんたこの前の新聞も見てたでしょ？ちゃんと生徒会のことも記事にしてたじゃない。
Now that you mention it, true. I meant all the same. Calling her feels off all the same. Indeed, there was an article about the union with the PMC.
だから何か記事になりそうなことがあったら真っ先に私に教えること。いいわね。
I get your reasoning, but Senpai is going to tell you anyway, right? I don't see a problem if you just waited for that.
情報は速度が命なのよ。あんたにはそれがわからないっていうの？
Well, it's not like I don't know where you're coming from, but just when I'm about to object by telling her that I naturally can't take the risk of giving her inaccurate information, a powerful ally appears.
ちょっと花、いい加減にしなさい。ユーリ。
It's Tsukushima. Most likely because we've been talking in the middle of the hallway. It's Tsukushima, who has exited the classroom later than we, suddenly joins our conversation.
生徒会に入ったということは風紀委員の仲間でもあるの。浅葉くんに対して何か文句があるようなら私も黙ってないわよ。それがなんだってのよ。
The two sisters glare at each other tensely.
おー、こりゃまた険悪な空気だな。
You aren't exactly in a position to say that in such a carefree manner, you know. You're also a PMC member.
ああ、言われてみりゃそうか。合体したんだしな。
So, lend me a hand.
はいはい。
While exchanging looks, I move towards Tsukushima while So takes position next to Hanako.
まあまあ、そこまでにしときなよ、花子ちゃん。
誰が花子ちゃんよ、この変態副会長。
花子ちゃんもせっかく美人なのにもったいねえな。怒るとブサイクになっちまうぜ。
美人？そう？ま、美しいのは仕方ないわよね。持って生まれたものなんだし。
Is So saying this because she's slightly... I'm not going to say chubbier than Yuri, but heavier. Sure, let's go with that. She's heavier than Yuri. Hanako immediately gets carried away by So's extremely poor flattery. Jesus, how can you be so simple-minded, Hanako? Well, I guess I should accomplish my part as well. Tsukushima, I'm glad that you got angry for my sake, but you should calm down a bit.
浅葉くん。
The PFC chairwoman shouldn't cause a scene in the middle of the hallway, right?
それもそうね。わかったわ。
As to be expected of her, she's rational. Tsukushima, who agreed to my argument, loosens up again.
いやー、やっぱり月島姉妹では花子ちゃんの方が可愛いよな。
よくわかってるじゃないの、あんた。単なる変態じゃなかったのね。
当然だろう。俺の目算によれば妹よりも若干太ってるのは間違いないからな。
What I fucking tell you, he's only saying that because Hanako weighs more than Yuri.
なんですって？
まあそれでもまだまだ足りないんだけどな。せめてあと10、いや5キロだけでも。まずは二の腕を一回り大きくすることを理想にだな。あれなんか怒ってる？
この変態副会長
！So, that was basically like stepping on a landmine. Even I know that much. And I'm a dense protagonist. And what makes the whole thing all the more nasty, his estimation is actually correct.
もう浅場優馬に変態副会長に何なのよ、生徒会のやつらは。
I mean, you know, he has a fetish for bigger women, so he needs to make sure his measurements are accurate from just using his eyes. Yep. Even with clothes on, especially with clothes on. I don't know what I mean even with. Hanako traces her way back to where she came from while laying her anger bare by throwing complaints at us.
いっててててて。ああ、思いっきり腹に肘食らったわ。
Why did you add fuel to the fire?
今みたいなのはさすがにかばえないわね。
I don't know, maybe he's into it.
え？俺おかしなこと言ってたか？
Neither Tsukushima or nor I rewarded his question with an answer.
どうぞ。
Excuse me.
いらっしゃい、ゆうまくん。待ってたよ。
Just as promised this morning, bringing my lunch along. I've showed up to the student council room.
ほら、座って座って。お茶も今入れるから。
No, I'm not a guest, but a member now. Let me take care of the tea.
ダメ。今日くらい私に入れさせなさい。
But
さて問題です。ゆうまくんの上司は誰でしょう？
what am I supposed to say when she asks me that out of nowhere? You, right?
ピンポーン、正解。そんなわけで上司命令。お茶を入れさせなさい。
Got it. I may be stubborn, but I think the same goes for her.
それじゃあちょっと待っててね。
And so I guess it's Senpai's back for a while.
はい、お待たせ。
Thank you. After placing 2 teacups on the table, she sits down. Green tea?
ご飯には緑茶じゃない？
I can agree to that, but green tea is a teacup. Green tea in a teacup, huh? While I'm somewhat surprised due to the mismatch, Senpai begins to talk.
そうそう。それと入室時だけど、もう役員なんだからノックしなくていいよ。
Now that she's pointed it out, I realize that it may have been in fact me who still felt like a guest rather than a member. You're right. Got it.
さーてと、じゃあまずはご飯食べよっか。
She takes out a plastic bag and spreads out the contents. You bought your lunch at the school store?
まあね。おにぎりとかサンドイッチとか楽だよ。書類読みながら食べられるし。
That's bad manners.
少しぐらい許してよ。ここだと誰も見てないしね。
Is it such a tough job to be the student council president that there is a need to go that far? Now that I think about it, I get the feeling she's always here whenever I drop by. It's hard to imagine from her usual demeanor, but I guess there's quite some pressure from work.
あ、だけど学食でもよく食べるよ。たまにユーリもいて面白いし。
Interesting. You mean her outfit?
そうそう、和風メイド。かわいいよね、あれ。
Yeah, I agree. She herself seems to feel embarrassed wearing it though.
すっごい似合ってるのにな。
I also agree with that one. I actually agree with her, but saying it out loud would probably result in her teasing me in various ways, so I ultimately keep it to myself. Yeah, you're only allowed to agree with her after you start dating her. Yuri, that is, not Anne.
ゆうまくんはいつもお弁当？
No, that would be too much of a burden for my mum on top of her work, so I use the cafeteria or buy my lunch at the school store 2 or 3 days a week.
あ、そっか。ゆうまくんちのお母さんって浅場先生だっけ？
You knew? Is Asaba that common of a last name?
まあね、生徒会長だし。
Fair enough, I guess that's only natural then. In her position, she likely gets wind of special circumstances regarding students rather easily.
安心して、誰かに言いふらしたりとかしてないから。
Yeah, but clearly the information of Aoi being Yuma and Konami's mum wasn't given to her by the newspaper club. I wasn't worried. I trust you.
そういえば、 他のみんなはそのことって知ってるの？コエタくんとか、ユーリとか。
I didn't really tell anyone. Mia obviously knows about it, but she wouldn't tell anyone either.
そっか。
Is there something wrong with that?
役員の緊急連絡先どうしようかなって。自宅から通ってる子は基本的に保護者だから。
I see. That's a fair reason. It should be fine to tell those two anyway, so I'll do so on the next opportunity.
わかった。よろしくね。それじゃあご飯にしよっか。
Right. Thanks for the tea.
はい、どうぞ。
And so I had lunch together with Senpai in a pleasantly calm atmosphere.
という流れの対応が必要なの。わかった？
Yeah, no problem. I anticipated that our conversation would eventually digress, completely, despite her saying that she'd teach me about my job here. But in contrast to that expectation, she actually precisely explained everything to me.
大まかな流れはこんなとこかな。質問はある？
No, I'm fine for now. I'll ask you if something I don't know comes up during the actual work, if that's okay with you.
オッケー。細かいことはコエタくんやユーリの方が詳しいだろうから、そっちに聞いてもいいかも。
Got it. Thank you.
それじゃ、これから頑張ってね。
Yeah, I will. In response to Senpai's words, I nod, feeling motivated. At any rate, it seems you really are the student council president after all.
それってどういうことかな？
I'm talking about the fact that that you've just nearly explained everything to me in detail.
そう？わかりやすかった？
Yeah, it was fairly easy to follow.
なんか照れるな、もう。
Having said that, she displays an embarrassed smile on her face.
さて、それじゃあこれで生徒会の説明は終わりね。次は将棋部の活動についてだけど。
Oh, okay. Right. I guess I'm a member of that as well now.
合体してるからね。嫌だった？
No, Konami is there as well. I couldn't possibly mind it.
そっか、よかった。
So I guess that basically means you've really been doing club activities.
あれ、コナタンから聞いてなかった？毎日生徒会の仕事が終わったら指してるんだよ。
Yeah, but is that everyone or just you and Konami? Is that so? I guess I haven't caught on to that because I've been coming home even later recently. If I had come home before her, I most likely would have become worried and asked her why she came home late. But all the shogi club does is play shogi, right?
そうだね。
That I think there's really nothing to explain.
そんなことはないよ。部員の実力を知っておくのも部長の務めでしょ。
I don't know when she managed to prepare it, but she suddenly places a shogi board on the table after saying that. She always has one prepared, of course. She has to keep it prepared, right? Senpai?
さ、それじゃあ一曲やろっか。
Ignoring my dumbfounded expression, Senpai proceeds to align the shogi pieces on the board enthusiastically. Oh, never mind. I thought they were lined up perfectly as well. I lost.
あれ？
I instantly lost to her. I might have even set a new record with the playtime. I see you aren't the shogi club president for nothing.
ありがとう。じゃなくて。
What's the matter?
コナタンからユーマくんには一度も勝ったことがないって聞いたんだけど。
That's correct. I haven't lost a single time.
あのさ、こう言ったらなんだけど、コナタンの方が強くない？
Why would you think that? What do you mean you agree? Yeah, I agree. I mean, sure, I guess Konami's biggest weakness is that she places too much emphasis on the knights. But Still, would that really make her better than Yuma overall?
なのに負けなしなの？
Yeah, I'm playing by instinct. So in terms of skill, it should be impossible for me to win against her. I once asked Konami why she couldn't win against me. Her late father was the one who taught Konami shogi, and according to her, my playstyle is close to his.
苦手なの？
Yeah, she says it's so straightforward that it throws her pace off. Really? I feel like that should be the easiest playstyle to play against because she's used to it. Is she not good at adapting her playstyle? What do you mean?
そういうことか。なんか納得。
Also, another thing that makes Konami a worse shogi player than Yuma. I mean, it sounds like he isn't adapting his playstyle either, but still. So basically, the only ones I can win against are Konami and people who don't know how to play shogi at all.
そっか。悲しくなっちゃうのかな。
If that's how she feels about it, I don't think she would play with me in the first place. That's why Konami she genuinely loves shogi because she was taught by our father, so she most likely only sees me as a wall for her to overcome someday.
そっか。
So please keep playing against her without holding back.
もちろん。なんせ部長だしね。
Showing a bright smile, she nodded. On that subject, there's something I'd like to ask you.
なになに？
How come you're so good at shogi? Did someone teach you?
気になる？
Does it come with the the Grim Reaper job aspect requirement? Are you required to be good at shogi to reap souls? Yeah, well, yeah. After all, I always thought that there shouldn't be many people Konami's age who are better than her.
うん、そうかもね。コナタンは強いと思うよ。
But Konami lost to you, so I wondered if there was some sort of secret behind your skill.
教えてあげたいけど、ごめんね。秘密なの。
So it is linked to the fact that you're a Soul Reaper? Or did you fucking reincarnate from like a Shogi Grandmaster? Or whatever the equivalent of a chess Grandmaster is in Shogi? I see.
ただね、強さの影にはちゃんとした努力があるんだよ。それは一朝一夕のものじゃなくて、それこそ血の滲むような。
She mutters that. Somewhat sorrowful and yet, in a way, nostalgic expressions surfaces on her face. Right. Nothing just falls conveniently into one's lap. Until now, Senpai has simply put in more effort than Konami did. That's probably all there is to it. Incidentally, hasn't Konami won a single time against you yet? I mean, it's already been more than a week since you joined.
まあね。いいところまでは行くんだけど、わざと負けたら怒りそうだし。
I can guarantee she would. Considering Konami's attitude towards shogi, even I can't tell what punishment that would bring about.
あ、怒らせるためにわざと負けるのもいいかも。
As a consequence, she might not speak to you for a while, you know.
それはちょっと勘弁してほしいな。
That's how serious she is about it.
じゃあ、私も真剣にやっつけるしかないか。
Yeah, please do so. I strongly believe that Konami will someday win against her. Give it your best, Konami.
さて、じゃあ将棋関係はこんな感じね。次はミオちゃんについてだけど。
You mean that activity to cure her constitution? Interpersonal countermeasures, was it?
まあね。確かにそれがメインだけど、多分ユウマくんが考えているよりも ちょっと幅広いよ。
How exactly? As I think about what she means by that, she gives an example of what her statement entails.
ゆうまくんはコエタくんのことをどう思う？
Let's see. I'd say he's a joker with a chubby fetish. He's a joker with a chubby fetish.
そうだね。彼の内面はそんな感じ。じゃあ見た感じはどう？
On the outside, you mean things like you mean things like he'd likely be popular if he kept his mouth shut?
そうそう。なんだ、ゆうまくんもコエタくんのことをそう思ってたの？
Yeah, he's just like you, without the chubby fetish. But no, I just reiterated what I heard from other girls.
ああ、なるほどね。
Actually, now that I think about it, he might actually be rather handsome. But maybe because his habitual image is too strong in my mind, I just couldn't seem to see him in that light, regardless of what girls say. So, what about him?
彼もある意味内面に問題があるでしょ。だからこの前女性のことはとにかく褒めろって教えたの。
Maybe you should have given him some more restrictions to that. Or at least any form of restriction so that he doesn't compliment her weight. Compliment?
そう。たとえ自分の好きじゃない痩せ型でもどこかにいいところがあるはずだって。そこを褒めてあげようってね。
Yeah, but you didn't add the stipulation of if the compliment has anything to do with her weight, think of something else. After hearing those words, I understood why So complimented Hanako earlier in that awfully wrong way. It's no good. He didn't get what Senpai told him at all.
みおちゃんのリハビリも大事だけど、せっかくだし彼も直してあげないと。
That makes sense. I hope you can do it. It'd be great if he at least stops forcing his fetish onto girls the first time he meets them. What kind of rehabilitation are you doing with Mio?
男性に触れている状況のイメトレさせたり、目隠ししてゆうまくんの真似した私と触れ合ったり。
Yeah, well, now you don't need to pretend to be Yuma, now that Yuma's part of the student council, right? Right? You pretend to be me.
ダメだった？
I don't really mind as long as it helps Mio. But still, what in the world is she doing? And what's the result so far?
全然ダメ。私以外でも匂いで分かっちゃうし、イメトレだといつの間にか男性同士の絡みになるし。
And you expected a different result? I see. That's right. Something also needs to be done about Mio's tendency to daydream.
ま、そんなわけだから、ゆうまくんも手伝ってあげてね。
Yeah, of course. The method itself isn't difficult for what we always do, but with another helper, there might be some new development, especially if that helper is the person Anne is trying to imitate. I couldn't possibly be happier if that happened.
それで最後に風紀委員だけど、
Yeah,
有利に聞いてね。
I expected as much. Huh?
私には分かんないところあるし、委員長は有利だし、それに一緒のクラスでしょ。
Well, I guess.
だからそういうことでよろしく。
So, huh? let me think about that. So, technically, I'm right in a way. It's just it's all under the blanket of being in the student council, right? I'm right in that with each character's routes, they're going to focus on a different part of the student council, right? With Konami, it's Shogi. With Mio, it's androphobia. And with Yuri, it's the PMC. Right? And then obviously with Anne, it's the student council as a whole, I guess. I can't believe she would just shove everything onto Tsukishima after coming this far.
あれ呆れちゃった？
No, I just thought that you're you after all.
それって褒めてるの？
It only means that my impression of you shifted back to what it was before.
なんかバカにされてる感じがする。
That's not really my intention, but it's true that I feel a bit disappointed, while at the same time I also feel somewhat relieved.
なんでもいっか。それじゃあせっかくだし、もう一曲やろう。
You mean shogi? I see you like it. I see you like it as well.
好きっていうか、ハマってきたみたいな感じ？
After all the practice she must have been through, she became addicted to it.
ほらほら、並べて。
As we clear the board that has been left as is after my loss and start to line up the pieces again, the chime rings.
あれ、もう終わり？
It seems so. Unfortunately, we'll have to postpone our rematch.
そうだね。じゃあまた放課後に来てね。
Sure. Right. Would it be alright if I was a bit late?
なんかあるの？
Yeah, I have a little something I need to talk about at the infirmary.
沢田先生のところに戻るの？
No, I'm not. I mean, I wouldn't do something so half-assed after saying I'd left.
ならいいけど、それじゃあ何しに行くの？
Well, to thank her.
そういうことか。わかった。いってらっしゃい。
While being seen off by Senpai's smile, I leave the student council room. And so with school over, I've come to the infirmary. Excuse me.
でね、その時、コナミちゃんがユウマくんのことをね。
はあ、いつまで続くんだ、その子供自慢は。
まだ始まったばかりだよ。
It seems there's already another visitor here. Well, it's Aoi though.
ん？ああ、ほら。お前の愛しい息子が来てるぞ。
ほんとだ。ユウマくんどうしたの？気分悪いの？
No, I came for a different reason. On another note, it's surprising that you're already here, Asaba. She must have come here directly after homeroom, I guess.
ちょっと近くの教室に用事があったから、ついでに顔出してみたんだ。
I see.
それよりユウマ、いつも通り葵さんって呼んでやったらどうだ？
そうだよ、ユウマくん。名前で呼んでほしいな。
But we're still at school here. I mean, see, the argument makes sense when you're out in the hallway where there are students around, but there's no one around here other than Now and you. Ma, never mind. And then I realize, I get the feeling I usually call her Aoi when I'm talking to her at the infirmary. Technically speaking, it's still within the school, but it's a rather isolated place, after all. Well, I guess there's no problem with that. Okay then, I'll do that, Aoi. The moment I call her by her name, she displays a dazzling smile.
それで何の用事だ？
Well, I came to speak to you.
私に？もう手伝いは不要と言ったはずだぞ。
もう、ナオちゃんってば。さっきもユウマくんがここを離れて寂しいって言ってたのに。
You said that? You feel lonely without me?
んなわけあるか。ユウマを追い出したって言ったら勝手に葵が勘違いしただけだ。
ナオちゃんってば、照れちゃって。
知るか。
She shows an embarrassed expression that can only be seen when her best friend Aoi is present. I realize once again that her attitude towards Aoi really is different than towards me. Anyways, I didn't come here for work. I only want to make a small report.
報告だと？
あ、大事なお話ならお母さん席外そうか。
No, I wanted you to know as well anyway, so it's actually convenient for me to have you here.
そんな改まって何の報告だ。早速恋人でもできたのか？
God, no. Not this early. Not this quickly.
恋人？昨日の今日なのに？
Calm down, Aoi. That's not it. I joined the student council, and the PMC, and the Shogi Club, and the... whatever Mio's thing is.
生徒会？
Technically, they're all the same thing, but... now that I'm actually saying it out loud in front of them, it makes me feel slightly embarrassed.
そうか。なんだ、予想より早かったな。
You expected it?
もう忘れたか？言っただろ。お前のいるべき場所は他にあるって。
Now that she mentions it, that is indeed what she said. Does that mean she already knew that I was going to join the student council back then?
へえ、生徒会か。頑張ってね、ゆうまくん。
Yeah, now that I've joined, I intend to put my back into it.
コナミもいるんだろ？
Yeah, apparently she's our secretary.
そうか。ま、せいぜい妹やジンポウに迷惑をかけて頑張れ。
Aren't you supposed to say the opposite?
いいんだよ、かけろ。
そうだね。生徒会の仲間なんだし、支え合ってこの学園を良くしていってね。
そう、葵の言う通りだ。
Then just say so from the beginning.
なおちゃん、いつも言葉が足りないからね。
You need to read between the lines, alright?
寡黙なんだよ、私は。
Just think of it as training to make you less dense. Sure, let's go with that. Do people normally say that about themselves?
養護教諭は言ってもいい決まりになっている。
In what world is that normal for a nurse? With Aoi here, it's like having explanatory commentaries for... what? It's like having explanatory commentaries for her, resulting in her spouting even more nonsense than usual.
で、誰を狙ってるんだ？
So it's like Fischl and Oz, but without the Chunibyo. I don't know why I compared these two to Genshin characters, but still. Well, a Genshin character, because technically Oz is part of her kit. Never mind. What's that supposed to mean?
生徒会の誰かが好きなんだろ？
I mean, yeah, but whether or not a choice will pop up that will confirm that option for me, I don't know yet. No, not really. Also, love is banned in the student council.
は？
恋愛禁止ってどういうことなの？
Do you really? Do you know about how both the student council and PMC got into grave situations as a result of love affairs?
ああ、うん。他の先生からちょっと聞いたよ。
やめたやつらもやめたやつらだがな。私には意味がわからん。
もう、そういうこと言っちゃダメでしょ、なおちゃん。
付き合いを続けながらそれぞれの仕事を頑張ればいいだけだろうが。
みんな器用な子ばかりじゃないんだよ。
はいはい。まったく相変わらず葵は甘い。
I actually agree with her opinion, but could love actually change people to that extent? That's a question I can't find an answer to. I mean, okay, here's the problem. You're talking about a controversy between love affairs with the student council and the PMC, right? Both groups are filled with people of the same age. Meanwhile, you've got Nao and Aoi, who both fell in love with your dad, who was a teacher of theirs. So, like, you know, a student-teacher love affair is a lot bigger of a deal even though they're from university, right? It's a lot bigger of a deal than fucking student council PMC, right?
なるほどな。人法のやつらしいというか、なんというか。
If you couldn't tell, I was trying to find a way to link the two situations between each other, with each other, something like that.
他の子は嫌がってなかった？
Well, all the members are sort of distant to love in the first place. Tsukushima even outright denies it. Just like you, but the thing is, just like you, she is coming across. She's warming up to love. Slowly.
コナミちゃんも興味なさそうだもんね。
ま、お前は気にするな。忍ぶ恋というのも燃えるらしいしな、葵。
私は別に、というか卒業してからだよ。
I didn't realize they were going to make the joke too, but I had already graduated. Okay, sure, I guess that's how you can get away with it. Aoi appears rather embarrassed in response to that inciting remark. I suppose it must be about Dad. But you know, it's not really convincing to hear that from a person who doesn't have a boyfriend.
やかましい。
I mean, like, unless you want me to be your boyfriend, never mind. I don't know the detailed story that led to her marriage, but since they were student and teacher, there must have been all sorts of difficulties. Well, that isn't something you'd ask someone to tell you about in great detail after all, especially since they're your mum. Especially because they're your mum, I guess, is a better way of putting it. Well then, I should be leaving for the student council room now.
頑張ってね。
あ、待てユーマ。選別をやる。
Having said that, she thrust that farewell gift into my hand. How many candies is it this time? Candy?
達者でな。
It's not like I'm graduating.
保健室登校からの卒業だ。
I'm probably attending classes, you know.
ゆうまくん、まだサボってないよ。
What do you mean, yet? Yet, she says. Does that mean she thinks it wouldn't be surprising if I did eventually?
いいから持っていけ。他の役員にもあげれば仲良くなれるだろ。
The thing is, I'm already familiar with all the members from the beginning anyway. But if you say so, I'll gladly accept them. Concluding that it would be rude to decline, I stuff the candy into my pocket and keep them all to myself. Thanks.
礼などいい。
I'm not only thanking you for the candy, it's for everything you've done for me.
なら、なおさら言う必要なんてない。私は先生として当然のことをしただけだ。
なおちゃん照れちゃってるみたい。
葵、余計なことを言うな。
はーい。
Seeing them like this really makes it hit home that they're good friends. While I do want to talk for a little longer with these two who almost seem like a married couple, sure, I can't let my new comrades wait for too long. Maybe that's why we can't date them. Somewhat reluctantly, I put my hand on the door. Later then.
いってらっしゃい、ゆうまくん。
Yeah, I'm off.
また、顔出せ。
And so I leave the infirmary while hearing that curt yet gentle voice behind me.